Welcome to Stevie's Kitchen. Tonight, I'm gonna show you how to make Ropa Vieja. So now we're gonna get this sauce started for the Ropa Vieja. I have some melted butter down in here. Now I got one green bell pepper and one red bell pepper that I've chopped up. I'm just gonna get these in here for a little saute. Get them slightly softened. We're gonna keep this on for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then after 2 to 3 minutes, I have some diced red onions that I'm gonna toss in here. It's been about 2 minutes now, so I have my sliced red onions. I'm gonna toss these in. And then here, I'm gonna hit it with a pinch of salt just to kind of bring out some of this moisture and soften these vegetables just slightly. I'm gonna let all this cook together for about 3 to 4 minutes. So now this has been cooking together. Usually this recipe calls for green olives. I don't have green olives, I have black olives, so I'm gonna use black olives instead. I have a half a cup of black olives that I put down. It's just gonna give it a nice little brininess. That's why I didn't over salt it earlier, because those olives will give me that extra salt kick. And then now, I'm gonna deglaze this pan with a half a cup of white wine. I'm gonna let all these veggies cook down in that for another 2 minutes. I wait the 2 minutes before I add anything else because I want the alcohol to cook off, but still keep that wine flavor. I have a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes that I'm gonna add in now. Get all this in here. Get this all stirred in. And so with Ropa Vieja, it's made with a shredded beef. And earlier, I went ahead and got that beef going because it takes 3 to 4 hours to simmer, and then it takes another couple hours to cool. So I went ahead and did that ahead of time. But from that, I have a half a cup of the stock that it was cooked in. As you can see in here, there's a little fat that cooked off. So I'm just gonna use the block, the fat. I don't want the fat. I just want the juice. So we have that braising liquid, and in that braising liquid that I made earlier, it was beef stock, bay leaves, cumin seeds, and onions and garlic. So I'm gonna just let this simmer together for about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna add the beef back to it and let that all simmer together for about 20 minutes, and then your dish is complete. So now we're gonna add this beef to our mixture. It's all the shredded beef. I have it's probably about 4 pounds of chuck roast. There was a bone in there and it said it was 6, but after you take out a few of those bones, weight goes down. So now we're gonna stir all this in. Then we're just gonna add a little bit of seasoning. There's a lot of veggies and there's already a lot of flavor in here, so it's not a lot of seasoning because I don't wanna take away from the true flavor of the beef and the sauce that we created, but we're just gonna enhance it a little bit. So I got a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and do a teaspoon and a half of ground cumin, and then a teaspoon of red chili flake, and just a little pinch of salt. There's a lot of salt that's already been added in there from that beef and those olives, so I don't want to over salt this dish. I'm gonna get another mix on this. Let it go for another 10 to 15 minutes just to reduce a little bit of the liquid, and then we'll serve this over rice and be ready to go. So now that everything's finished simmering, I made some rice, so I'm just gonna go ahead and plate this rice. Put a little rice down, and come in here with the Ropa Vieja. Ooh, that made a mess. Now it's time for the taste test. I'm actually gonna get an olive in this bite just to make sure I get that full effect. I actually really like this. This is so simple, so quick and easy. This is really good. You're gonna enjoy it. The beef is super tender. Those vegetables still have a little bit of texture, but they're soft enough. The rice pairs with it perfectly. This is a dish you don't want to miss.